The bitter cold of Christmas Eve settles over Pine Valley like a heavy blanket, turning the small Oregon town into a winter postcard. Streetlights cast orange pools on fresh snow. Houses glow with colored lights and warm windows. Inside those homes, families gather around trees and tables, their laughter muffled by walls and falling snow. But inside the O'Neill house on Willow Street, there is no laughter. There is only fear. 10-year-old Scarlett O'Neill crouches under her bed, her small hands clutching a worn sketchbook. Her red hair falls across her face like a curtain she can hide behind. Through the floorboards, she hears her father's heavy footsteps moving through the kitchen below. The clink of bottles, the scrape of a chair, the low, angry muttering that always comes before the storm. Her fingers trace the edge of her latest drawing. A bird in flight wings spread wide against an open sky. She'd spent 3 days getting the feathers just right, each line precise and careful. Drawing is the only time her hands don't shake. The only time she can breathe without counting each breath. The stairs creak. Scarlett's whole body goes rigid. She knows that sound, knows the weight behind it, knows what comes next. Her father's voice cuts through the thin walls. "Scarlett, where are you, girl?" The words slide together thick with whiskey. She presses herself flatter against the cold floor, making her body as small as possible. Maybe this time he'll forget. Maybe this time he'll just pass out on the couch like he sometimes does. The bedroom door slams open. Boots on hardwood. The smell of alcohol and sweat fills the small room. "I know you're in here." Nolan O'Neill's voice is dangerously quiet now. "Come out." Scarlett doesn't move. Can't move. Her heart hammers so hard she thinks it might crack her ribs. A rough hand grabs her ankle, yanks her out from under the bed. The sketchbook flies from her grip pages, scattering across the floor. Scarlett's head hits the bed frame, and stars explode behind her eyes. "What's this?" Nolan picks up one of the drawings. His bloodshot eyes scan the page. It's a portrait of her mother, dead 3 years now. Cancer took her slow, but at least it took her away from this house, away from this man. "Drawing pictures while I'm out working." Nolan's laugh is ugly. "Think you're some kind of artist?" "Dad, please." Scarlett's voice is barely a whisper. "It's just..." He rips the drawing in half, then in half again. The pieces flutter to the floor like broken birds. "No." The word tears from Scarlett's throat. She reaches for the torn pieces, but Nolan is already grabbing more drawings, tearing them, destroying weeks of work, months of careful lines and shading and hope. "You're worthless." He throws the scraps in her face. "Just like your mother. Useless. Nobody wants you. You understand that? Nobody." Scarlett scrambles backward until her spine hits the wall. Tears blur her vision, but she blinks them away. Crying only makes it worse. Nolan reaches for her. His hand closes around her thin arm fingers, digging in hard enough to bruise. "Look at me when I'm talking to you." She looks. She has to. His face is red, and twisted features she once knew turned monstrous by drink and rage. This is the man who used to push her on swings at the park, who taught her to ride a bike, who held her mother's hand in the hospital. That man is gone, has been gone for a long time. "I said, look at me." His other hand rises. Scarlett flinches, but there's nowhere to go. The slap connects with her cheek, snapping her head to the side. The room tilts. Her ear rings. "That's what you get for wasting time." Another slap. For being useless. His grip tightens on her arm. For being nothing. He drags her across the room. Scarlett's feet tangle in torn drawings. Her shoulder screams where his fingers dig in. She tries to pull away, but he's too strong, too big, too angry. Down the stairs, each step jolts through her small body. Through the living room where a half-decorated tree stands in the corner, ornaments hanging hollow and crooked. Past the kitchen where empty bottles line the counter like soldiers. To the front door. Maybe a night in the cold will teach you some gratitude. Nolan fumbles with the lock. Teach you what happens to ungrateful brats. "Dad, no, please." Scarlett's voice breaks. "It's freezing out there." "Please don't." The door swings open. Wind rushes in, carrying snow and ice and darkness. Nolan shoves her through the doorway. Scarlett stumbles down the front steps, her thin house slippers sliding on ice. "Don't come back." Nolan stands in the doorway, silhouetted by the warm light behind him. "You hear me? Don't come back." The door slams shut. The lock clicks. The porch light goes dark. Scarlett stands in the snow wearing only her thin pajamas and slippers. No coat, no hat, no gloves. The wind cuts through cotton fabric like it isn't even there. Her cheek throbs where he hit her. Her arm aches where he grabbed her. But the cold is worse. The cold is immediate and vicious and all-consuming. She looks at the door, thinks about knocking, begging. But she knows that voice, the one that said, "Don't come back." He means it. At least for tonight. At least until the whiskey wears off and he forgets this ever happened, if she lives that long. Scarlett wraps her arms around herself and starts walking. Her feet are already numb slippers, soaked through in seconds. Snow falls harder, now thick flakes that catch in her red hair and melt into icy rivulets down her neck. The street is empty. Everyone is inside, warm and safe and celebrating Christmas Eve with people who love them. She walks until her legs shake, until her teeth chatter so hard she bites her tongue and tastes blood. The houses blur past all those warm windows and happy families. She doesn't belong in there. Her father made that clear. You're worthless. Nobody wants you. Maybe he's right. Maybe she is nothing. Scarlett's foot catches on something buried in snow. She falls, hard hands plunging into the freezing white. The cold burns. Her fingers have gone past numb into something worse. She tries to stand, but her legs won't work right. Everything feels slow and heavy and wrong. There, an old oak tree at the corner of Oak Street, its bare branches reaching up like skeletal hands. Its trunk is wide, offering shelter from the wind. Scarlett crawls toward it, each movement harder than the last. She makes it to the base of the tree and collapses against the rough bark. The tree blocks some of the wind. Not enough. Never enough. She pulls her knees to her chest, trying to make herself smaller, trying to conserve what little warmth remains in her body. Snow piles up around her, on her, covering her in white. She thinks about her drawings scattered across her bedroom floor. All those birds in flight, all those open skies, all those dreams of being somewhere else, someone else. The shaking gets worse, violent tremors that rack her small frame. Her lips feel thick and clumsy. Her thoughts drift like snow, hard to catch and hold. This is bad. She learned about hypothermia in school, knows the signs, knows what happens when your body temperature drops too low. She's dying. Right here under this oak tree on Christmas Eve. 10 years old and dying alone in the snow because her father thinks she's worthless. Maybe she is. Scarlett's eyes drift closed. The shaking starts to slow. That's bad, she thinks distantly. That means her body is giving up. But it's almost peaceful now. The cold doesn't hurt anymore. Nothing hurts anymore. She can just sleep. Just close her eyes and sleep, and maybe she'll wake up somewhere warm, somewhere safe, somewhere that isn't here. A sound cuts through the wind, low and rumbling, growing louder. An engine. Scarlett's eyes flutter open. Through the falling snow, she sees a headlight cutting through the darkness. A motorcycle. The engine growls, powerful and deep. The bike slows as it approaches her corner. Stops. The rider is huge. A giant on a steel horse. Leather jacket and boots and tattoos snaking up his neck. His face is weathered and hard, all sharp angles and old scars. Scarlett should be afraid. Should run. But she can't run. Can't even move. Can only watch as this massive stranger swings his leg off the bike and stands there staring at her through the snow. His eyes, that's what she sees first. Not the tattoos or the scar or the size of him. His eyes. They're not hard, not angry. They're said deeply, profoundly, like he's seeing something that breaks his heart. The man takes a step toward her. Then another, his boots crunch in the snow. He moves slowly like he's approaching a wounded animal. When he speaks, his voice is rough but gentle. "Hey there, kid." Scarlett tries to answer, but her jaw won't work right. The shaking has started again, worse than before. The man crouches down, putting himself at her level. Up close, she can see the details. A skull tattoo on his hand, a faded scar across his eyebrow, eyes the color of winter sky. "You're freezing." It's not a question. He shrugs out of his leather jacket. The jacket is huge, still warm from his body heat, and the motorcycle engine beneath. He drapes it over her shoulders like a blanket. The warmth is immediate and overwhelming. Scarlet gasps, her body flooding with sensation as blood tries to flow back into frozen limbs. It's okay. The man's voice is steady. You're going to be okay. He looks around, takes in the empty street, the lack of coat or shoes, the bruise already forming on her cheek. Something dark crosses his face. Anger, but not at her. Never at her. Can you tell me your name? Scarlet's lips move. Takes 3 tries to make sound. Says, Scarlet. Scarlet. He nods like that's a good name. A strong name. I'm Garrett, and I think we need to get you somewhere warm. Is that okay? She should say no. Stranger danger. Never go with someone you don't know, but those rules were made for children who have homes to go back to. Children whose fathers don't throw them into the snow on Christmas Eve. Children who matter. Scarlet nods. Garrett's shoulders relax a fraction. Good. That's good, Scarlet. Now, my bike's not the best place for you right now. Too cold. But my neighbor lent me his truck. He gestures to an old pickup parked down the street, engine running. Can you walk? She tries. Gets her feet under her. Takes 1 step, her legs buckle. Garrett catches her before she hits the ground. His hands are gentle despite their size. Careful. I've got you. Is it okay if I carry you to the truck? Another nod. She's beyond words now. Beyond fear, beyond everything except the desperate animal need to survive. He lifts her like she weighs nothing. Cradles her against his chest where his body heat seeps through his shirt. His heart beats steady and strong beneath her ear. Alive. Real. Not a dream conjured by a dying mind. The truck is warm inside. Garrett sets her in the passenger seat, tucks his jacket tighter around her. The heating vents blast hot air that feels like needles against frozen skin. He reaches into the back seat and produces a thick blanket. Wool. Scratchy but warm. He wraps it around her over the jacket. Better, Scarlet nods. The shaking continues, but the edge of panic has dulled. She's not dying. Not right now. This stranger with sad eyes has saved her life. Garrett climbs into the driver's seat, puts the truck in gear. Let's get you home. Home. The word catches in Scarlet's chest. She doesn't have one of those anymore. Not really, but she's too tired to explain. Too cold and broken and scared. They drive through quiet streets, past houses with lights and warmth and families, past the town square with its massive Christmas tree, past closed shops and empty playgrounds. The truck's heater slowly does its work. Feeling returns to Scarlet's fingers and toes in painful waves. Garrett doesn't ask questions, doesn't demand explanations, just drives with one hand on the wheel, the other rubbing warmth back into his own arm, where the cold is starting to bite through his thin shirt. He gave her his jacket, his warmth, a stranger who owed her nothing. The truck turns onto a narrow road outside town. Small houses dot the landscape spaced far apart. Working-class homes with peeling paint and sagging porches. But the lights are on in most of them. Smoke rises from chimneys. Garrett pulls into a driveway in front of a modest 1-story house. It's small and weathered, but someone has hung lights along the porch railing. They twinkle red and green against the snow. This is my place. Garrett kills the engine. It's not much, but it's warm and safe. You have my word on that. Safe. When was the last time Scarlet felt safe? She follows him up the creaking porch steps. Her feet are bare now. The soaked slippers abandoned in the truck. The wooden boards are cold, but not unbearable. Not like the snow. Garrett unlocks the door. It sticks. At first requires a specific twist and pull. He opens it and warm air rushes out. Inside the house is simple but clean. A worn couch faces an old television. A small kitchen visible through a doorway. Photographs on the walls. The space heater in the corner hums softly, fighting back the winter chill. Come on in. Garrett steps aside to let her enter first. You can warm up by the heater. Scarlet takes tentative steps into the living room. Her eyes catalog everything. The exits, the windows, the phone on the side table. Survival instincts honed over years of living with an angry drunk. But nothing here feels dangerous. The furniture is old but comfortable. The carpet is worn but clean. The air smells like coffee and motor oil and something else. Something that might be safety. She stands awkwardly in the middle of the room, still wrapped in jacket and blanket. Not sure what to do, where to go, if she's allowed to sit. Make yourself comfortable. Garrett moves past her into the kitchen. You should eat something and get some food in you. I've got soup, just chicken noodle from a can, but it's hot. The sound of cabinets opening. A pot clanking on the stove, water running, normal sounds, domestic sounds, so different from the crashes and curses that fill her father's house. Scarlett perches on the edge of the couch, doesn't lean back, doesn't relax, just sits with perfect posture, ready to run if needed. The heat from the space heater washes over her in waves. Feeling continues to return to her limbs in painful tingles. She looks around more carefully now. The photographs on the walls show Garrett with various people. Motorcycle rallies, groups of leather-clad men. But one photo stands out. A woman with kind eyes and a bright smile, her hand resting on the handlebar of a motorcycle. She looks happy, alive, loved. That's Catherine. Scarlett jumps. Garrett stands in the kitchen doorway stirring a pot. His voice has gone soft. Was she your wife? Almost. He turns back to the stove. Long time ago now. There's a story there. Scarlett can hear it in the way his voice catches, but she doesn't ask. Some hurts are too big for words. The soup heats. Steam rises from the pot carrying the smell of chicken and salt and something that might be comfort. Garrett ladles it into a bowl, adds a spoon, brings it to the coffee table. Careful, it's hot. Scarlett picks up the bowl with both hands. The warmth seeps into her palms. She sips. The hot liquid burns her tongue, but she doesn't care. It's the first warm thing inside her in hours. Her stomach clenches, then accepts the offering. She drinks. Slow sips, becoming bigger gulps. The soup disappears fast. Garrett watches from his worn armchair. Not staring, just aware, making sure she's okay. More, Scarlett nods. She should say thank you, should use words, but they feel stuck somewhere between her brain and her mouth. The second bowl goes slower. Her stomach is waking up, reminding her she hasn't eaten since yesterday morning. Nolan spent the grocery money on whiskey again. There's never enough food. Never enough of anything except anger and alcohol. You can sleep here tonight. Garrett's voice breaks the comfortable silence. The couch pulls out. I've got extra blankets. Bathroom's down the hall if you need it. Sleep. The word feels foreign. Scarlett hasn't slept through the night in months, always waking at every sound, every creak, every footstep, wondering if tonight's the night things get really bad. But her body is exhausted. The warmth and food have made her limbs heavy. Her eyelids keep trying to close. Garrett gets up, moves to the hall closet, returns with pillows and blankets, thick ones that look soft and clean. He transforms the couch into a makeshift bed with practiced efficiency. There you go, bathroom's the second door on the right. Help yourself to anything you need. He starts to leave, stops, turns back. Scarlett, you're safe here. Whatever happened tonight, whoever hurt you, you're safe now. Okay. She looks at him, this giant of a man with his tattoos and scars and sad eyes. This stranger who stopped when everyone else drove past, who gave her his jacket and his warmth in his home. Why, the word comes out cracked and small. Why did you help me? Garrett's jaw tightens. He looks at Catherine's photo on the wall, back to Scarlett. Because a long time ago, someone believed I could be better than what I was, and I'm still trying to prove her right. He leaves her then. His bedroom door closes softly at the end of the hall. Scarlett sits on the couch bed. The pillows smell like laundry detergent. The blankets are heavy and warm. Outside, snow continues to fall. But in here, the heater hums. The house creaks in comfortable ways. And for the first time in longer than she can remember, Scarlett feels something other than fear. She lies down, pulls the blankets up to her chin. Her body sinks into the soft cushions. Her eyes close. And Scarlett O'Neill, worthless and unwanted, sleeps. Morning light filters through thin curtains, painting the unfamiliar room in shades of gray and gold. Scarlett wakes slowly, her body aching in places she didn't know could hurt. Her cheek throbs. Her arm is tender, where fingers dug in. But she's warm. That's the first thing she notices. Warm and dry and alive. The smell of coffee drifts from the kitchen. Scarlett sits up, the blankets pulling around her waist. For a moment, she forgets where she is. Then memory crashes back. Her father, the snow, the man on the motorcycle, Garrett. She pushes the blankets aside and stands on shaky legs. Her slippers are gone, lost somewhere between the oak tree and the truck. Her pajamas are wrinkled and stained. She looks terrible. Feels worse. The floorboards creak under her feet. In the kitchen, Garrett stands at the counter pouring coffee into a chipped mug. He's wearing a different shirt today, black with no sleeves showing off the full extent of his tattoos. They cover both arms from wrist to shoulder, skulls and flames and words and languages she doesn't recognize. He should look scary, but the morning light softens his edges, makes him look more tired than threatening. Morning? He doesn't turn around. How'd you sleep? Okay. Her voice is hoarse. There's orange juice in the fridge. Or water if you want. He takes a sip of coffee. Figured you went for more of a juice kid. Scarlett opens the refrigerator. It's sparse inside. Some eggs, bread, a carton of orange juice. The basics. Nothing fancy. But it's more than what sits in her father's fridge, which is usually just beer and condiments. She pours juice into a glass Garrett has set out. Drinks. The cold liquid soothes her raw throat. I need to take you home today. Garrett's words are careful, measured. Your family's probably worried. Scarlett's hand tightens on the glass. I can't go back there. Scarlett, he threw me out. The words tumble out fast and desperate. Said not to come back. Said I was worthless. He meant it. Garrett finally turns. His gray eyes find hers. Who threw you out? My dad. She looks down at her bare feet. He was drunk. He gets mean when he drinks. The silence stretches long and heavy. When Garrett speaks again, his voice has gone very quiet. Did he hit you? Scarlett touches her cheek. Winces. That's answer enough. Garrett sets down his coffee mug with careful precision. His knuckles have gone white. How long? Since Mom died. 3 years. The admission feels like pulling glass from a wound. It's not always bad. Sometimes he's sorry. But lately, she trails off. Doesn't know how to explain the escalation. How the bad days have started outnumbering the good. How last night felt different. Final. You can't go back there. Garrett's voice is firm now, decided. Not until we figure something out. But I have to. He's my dad, and I don't have anywhere else. You can stay here. The words are out before he seems to think them through. Just until things are safe. Until we can, I don't know, talk to someone. The police, social services, someone. Scarlett wants to believe him, wants to think she can just stay in this small, warm house with this strange, gentle giant. But she knows how the world works. Kids don't get to choose where they live, don't get to run away from bad homes just because they want to. You don't even know me. I know enough. Garrett picks up his coffee again. Drinks like he needs the fortitude. I know what I saw last night, and I know I can't send you back there. Not yet. Before Scarlett can respond, Garrett moves to the counter. You need clothes, real ones, and probably other stuff. There's a general store in town, Wilson's. They have everything. We can go this morning. I don't have money. I do. He pulls on his leather jacket, the same one he gave her last night. Come on, let's get you sorted out. The drive into town is quiet. Scarlett watches the landscape roll past. Pine Valley in daylight looks different than it did at night. Smaller, more worn around the edges. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone else's business. Wilson's General Store sits on Main Street, its faded signs swinging in the winter breeze. Bell chimes as Garrett holds the door open. Inside, fluorescent lights hum overhead. Aisles packed with everything from canned goods to motor oil to cheap clothing. An older woman behind the counter looks up. Her eyes widen when she sees Garrett, then narrow slightly when she notices Scarlett trailing behind him. Morning, Martha. Garrett's voice is carefully neutral. Garrett. Martha's gaze doesn't leave Scarlett. Didn't know you had family visiting. She's staying with me for a bit, needs some clothes, kids section still in the back. Same as always. But Martha's expression suggests she has questions. Lots of them. Garrett leads Scarlett to the back corner where racks of children's clothing stand in neat rows. Everything is practical, sturdy, the kind of clothes meant for ranch kids and working families. Pick what you need. Garrett's large frame looks out of place among the small sizes and bright colors. Warm stuff. We've got more snow coming. Scarlett moves between the racks, overwhelmed. There's so much. New jeans without holes, sweaters that aren't threadbare, socks without darns. Her father never bought her new clothes. Everything came from thrift stores or hand-me-downs from church donations. Her hand reaches out to touch a purple sweater. It's soft, fleece-lined, the kind of thing she's seen other girls wear to school. That's a good color on you. Garrett nods. Get it. It's expensive. Don't worry about that. Scarlett adds the sweater to the pile growing in her arms. Jeans, a warmer coat with a hood, thick socks, practical things she needs. They pass a display of stuffed animals on the way to the register. Most are perfect, pristine, but one sits slightly apart from the others. A brown teddy bear with a torn ear and a crooked smile. There's a clearance tag hanging from its neck. Scarlett stops, stares at the bear. There's something about it, something familiar in its imperfection. Garrett reaches past her and picks it up. This guy's been waiting for the right person. He's damaged. Aren't we all? Garrett adds the bear to their pile. Makes him more interesting. At the register, Martha rings everything up with pursed lips. The total makes Scarlett's stomach clench. Too much. Way too much. But Garrett pulls out his wallet without hesitation. Pays cash. Martha bags everything except the bear, which she hands directly to Scarlett. You take care of him now. Scarlett clutches the bear to her chest. Its one good ear is soft against her cheek. Thank you. Outside, as they load bags into the truck, an elderly woman approaches. She's small and bent with age, wrapped in a thick coat and leaning on a wooden cane. Garrett Sullivan, the woman's voice carries an Irish lilt. Is that you buying clothes for a child? Mrs. Callahan. Garrett's shoulders tense. How are you? Better than some, worse than others. Mrs. Callahan's sharp eyes fix on Scarlett. And who's this young lady, Scarlett? She's staying with me for a bit. Is she now? Mrs. Callahan steps closer. Up close, Scarlett can see the lines around her eyes, the way her hands shake slightly on her cane. Well, Scarlett, you've found yourself a good man. Troubled, certainly, but good underneath all that armor. Garrett shifts his weight, uncomfortable. We should get going. Don't run off so fast. Mrs. Callahan reaches out and touches Scarlett's cheek. Her fingers are gentle, avoiding the bruise. Child's been hurt. She's safe now. Garrett's voice has gone hard, protective. I can see that. Mrs. Callahan looks between them. Something passes across her weathered face. Understanding, maybe, or memory. You do right by her, Garrett. I know you will. Just don't run when things get hard, not this time. She walks away before Garrett can respond, her cane tapping against the sidewalk. Who was that? Scarlett asks. Neighbor, busybody, but there's no real heat in Garrett's words. She means well. They drive home in comfortable silence. Scarlett holds the teddy bear in her lap, her thumb rubbing over its torn ear. Damaged, imperfect, just like her. But someone chose it anyway, saw value in its flaws. Back at the house, Garrett builds a fire in the small brick fireplace. The kindling catches quickly, flames spreading to larger logs. Orange light dances across the walls. Scarlett sits cross-legged on the floor now, wearing her new purple sweater and warm socks. The bear sits beside her. The heat from the fire soaks into her bones, chasing away the last lingering cold from last night. Garrett settles into his armchair. The leather creaks under his weight. For a long moment, neither speaks. Just the crackle of burning wood and the tick of a clock on the wall. I wasn't always like this. Garrett's voice breaks the silence. Living quiet, keeping to myself. Scarlett looks up at him. His face is shadowed by firelight, making his scars more prominent. Used to ride with a different crowd, Hell's Angels. You know what that is? She nods. Everyone knows the Hell's Angels. Motorcycle gang. Dangerous. The kind of people her teachers warned about. I was young when I joined. Angry. My old man left when I was a kid. My mom, he rubs his tattooed forearm. She wasn't around much either. The Angels became my family, or what I thought was family. He stares into the flames, lost in memory. Did things I'm not proud of, hurt people, broke laws, thought being tough meant not caring about anyone or anything. What changed? Scarlett's voice is small in the quiet room. Garrett looks at Catherine's photo. Met someone who saw past all the anger and violence. Someone who believed I could be better. Catherine. Yeah, his voice goes rough. She believed in second chances, in redemption. Said broken people could fix each other if they tried hard enough. And where's she now? The question hangs in the air. Garrett's jaw works like he's chewing on words too hard to swallow. Car accident, 5 years ago. Each word sounds like it costs him. She was driving home from work. Drunk driver ran a red light. I'm sorry. Me too, kid. He rubs his face with both hands. Wanted to go back to the old life after that. Wanted to find that drunk driver but Catherine wouldn't want that. She'd want me to keep trying, keep being better. The fire pops loudly. Scarlett jumps. Garrett notices, but doesn't comment. Point is, he continues, I know what it's like to be angry, to feel like the world's against you, to think you don't deserve good things. He leans forward, elbows on knees. But I also know that's a lie. Everyone deserves good things, especially kids who've been hurt. Scarlett's throat tightens. My dad says I'm worthless. Your dad's wrong. Garrett's voice is firm, absolute. You're not worthless, Scarlett. You're 10 years old and you survived a night in the snow. You're brave, you're strong, and you deserve better than what you've been getting. Tears prick at Scarlett's eyes. She blinks them back. Why are you being so nice to me? Because someone was nice to me once, and it saved my life. He settles back in his chair. And because it's the right thing to do. Simple as that. They sit by the fire as afternoon fades to evening. Garrett makes sandwiches for dinner. Nothing fancy, just peanut butter and jelly. But Scarlett eats both halves and drinks 2 glasses of milk. As darkness falls, Garrett turns on the small television. Some old Western plays cowboys and horses and shootouts. Scarlett curls up on the couch with her bare the purple sweater soft against her skin. She's almost asleep when headlights cut across the front window. A car pulls into the driveway. Doors slam. Garrett stands quickly, moves to the window. Stay here. Scarlett's heart kicks into high gear. She knows that tone, that alertness. Something's wrong. Knock at the door. Firm, official. Garrett opens it. A woman stands on the porch in a police uniform. She's maybe 35 with dark hair pulled back and tired eyes. Garrett Sullivan. That's me. I'm Officer Kate Brennan. I need to talk to you about a missing child. Scarlett O'Neill. She was reported missing last night by her father. We have reason to believe she might be here. Scarlett's stomach drops. Her father. Of course he reported her missing. Makes himself look like the victim. The concerned parent, not the drunk who threw his daughter into the snow. Garrett doesn't step aside. She's here. She's safe. Mr. Sullivan, I need to see her, confirm she's unharmed. She's unharmed, but I need you to understand something. Garrett's voice drops low. Her father beat her, threw her outside last night without a coat, in the snow. I found her nearly frozen to death under an oak tree. Officer Brennan's expression doesn't change. Professional. Those are serious accusations. They're facts. Look at her face. Look at the bruises on her arm. Then tell me where the real crime is here. A long pause. Officer Brennan's hand rests near her belt. Not on her weapon, but close. I still need to see her. Protocol. Garrett finally steps aside. Officer Brennan enters, her eyes immediately finding Scarlett on the couch. She approaches slowly, kneels down. Hi, Scarlett. I'm Officer Brennan. Are you okay? Scarlett nods. Can't seem to find words. Did this man hurt you? No. The word comes out fast, panicked. He saved me. He gave me his jacket and brought me here and okay, it's okay. Officer Brennan's voice gentles. Can you tell me what happened last night? The story spills out, all of it. Her father drinking, destroying her drawings, hitting her, throwing her out, the cold, the tree, Garrett stopping. Officer Brennan listens without interrupting, takes notes in a small pad. When Scarlett finishes, the officer sits back on her heels. You did nothing wrong, Scarlett. You understand that none of this is your fault. Scarlett nods but doesn't believe it. If she was better, smarter, quieter, maybe her father wouldn't get so angry. Officer Brennan stands, turns to Garrett. I need to speak with you. Privately. They step onto the porch. Through the window, Scarlett can see them talking. Officer Brennan's face is serious. Garrett's arms are crossed, his body language defensive. The conversation lasts several minutes. Finally, they shake hands. Officer Brennan leaves. Garrett comes back inside. What did she say? Scarlett's voice shakes. She's opening an investigation. Into your father. Into what happened. Garrett sits heavily in his chair. But she also said, there are complications. What kind of complications? Garrett's jaw tightens. Your father works for some bad people, Scarlett. People I used to know. People who won't like that you're here with me. Fear spikes through Scarlett's chest. The Hell's Angels. Yeah, Garrett looks at her, really looks. This might get messy, might get dangerous. If you want, I can call social services. Get you somewhere safe, somewhere away from all this. Scarlett clutches her bear tighter, thinks about foster homes, about being passed around to strangers who don't want her, about being separated from the first person who's shown her real kindness in years. I want to stay here. Her voice is small but firm. With you. You sure this isn't going to be easy? I'm sure. Garrett nods slowly. Okay then, we'll figure it out. Together. He doesn't see the headlights that flash past the house an hour later. Doesn't notice the motorcycle that circles the block twice before riding away. Doesn't know that Marcus Blade Donovan is already making phone calls, setting wheels in motion. But Scarlett sees. She's learned to watch for danger. Learned to read the signs. She doesn't say anything. Doesn't want to worry Garrett. But later when he's asleep, she takes out the sketchbook he bought her at Wilson's. New and clean and full of blank pages. She draws what she saw. The motorcycle. The rider's build. The way he slowed when passing the house. Details her art teacher said she was good at capturing. Evidence, though, she doesn't know it yet. A record of something that might matter later. When she's done, Scarlett closes the sketchbook, hides it under her pillow, lies back down on the couch bed with her bear tucked under her arm. Outside, snow begins to fall again. Inside, the fire burns low. And in the small house on the edge of Pine Valley, a damaged girl and a broken man try to believe they might be safe. But safety is fragile, and the past has a way of catching up no matter how fast you run. 3 days have passed since Officer Brennan's visit. 3 days of Scarlett watching the windows, counting cars that slow down, memorizing license plates. Her sketchbook fills with details she doesn't fully understand but knows matter. The blue sedan that parks across the street every morning. The man in the leather vest who walks past twice at dusk. The motorcycle that circles the block but never stops. Garrett sees her watching, but doesn't comment, just checks the locks more often, keeps his phone close, makes quiet calls when he thinks she's asleep. But Scarlett is always awake. Sleep has become difficult again. Every creak of the house sounds like footsteps. Every gust of wind sounds like engines. The fear that lived in her father's house has followed her here. Different shape, same weight. It's past midnight when she makes her decision. The house is dark except for the glow of the space heater. Garrett's soft snoring comes from down the hall. Scarlett sits up on the couch bed, her backpack already packed. The purple sweater, 2 pairs of socks, the teddy bear, her sketchbook. Everything that matters fits in one small bag. She moves quietly. Years of avoiding her drunk father taught her how to be silent, how to make her footsteps weightless, how to exist without disturbing the air. The front door key hangs on a hook by the entrance. Scarlett reaches for it. Her fingers close around cold metal. Going somewhere, she spins. Garrett stands in the hallway wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. His hair sticks up at odd angles. His eyes are alert despite the hour. I need to go. Scarlett's voice shakes. It's 1 in the morning and about 20 degrees outside. Garrett doesn't move closer, doesn't crowd her. Where exactly are you planning to go? Anywhere, it doesn't matter. Her grip tightens on the backpack strap. They're watching the house. I've seen them. 3 different people in 2 days. They're here because of me, because you're helping me. So you thought you'd run? Garrett's voice is gentle, not angry. Thought that would make things better. You'll be safe if I'm gone. Tears blur Scarlett's vision. They'll leave you alone. You can go back to your quiet life. You won't get hurt because of me. Garrett moves then, slowly, crosses the living room and sits on the arm of the couch, puts himself at her level. Listen to me, kid. You're not a burden. You're not causing problems. You're a 10-year-old girl who needs help. There's no shame in that. No debt you owe me. But they'll hurt you. Maybe. He shrugs. Probably. But that's not on you. That's on them for being criminals. And it's on me for the life I used to live. None of that is your fault. Scarlett's shoulders shake. Everyone leaves eventually. Everyone realizes I'm too much trouble. It's easier if I just go now. You're not too much trouble, Garrett's voice is firm. You're exactly the right amount of person, and I'm not going anywhere. Neither are you. You don't understand. I understand plenty. He crosses his arms. I understand you're scared. I understand you've been let down by every adult in your life. I understand you think running will protect people. But you know what I also understand? Scarlett wipes her eyes. Waits. You're the best thing that's happened to me in 5 years. Since Catherine died, I've been going through the motions. Working, sleeping, existing, not really living. He looks at her directly. You made me remember what it feels like to care about something, someone. And I'm not giving that up. I'm not giving you up. The words hit like a physical force. Scarlett's legs give out. She sinks to the floor, backpack falling beside her. I don't know how to be worth keeping. Garrett slides off the couch arm, sits on the floor across from her. You already are, just by being you, just by existing. That's enough. That's always been enough. They sit in the near darkness. The heater hums. Outside wind rattles the windows. But inside something shifts. Something small and fragile and important. I drew them, Scarlett whispers. The people watching the house. I drew them in my sketchbook. Garrett goes very still. You drew them? She nods, reaches into her backpack, pulls out the sketchbook, hands it over. Garrett opens it. The pages are filled with faces, cars, license plates, dates and times noted in careful handwriting, details a child shouldn't notice, patterns a victim learns to see. Scarlett, his voice has gone strange. This is evidence, real evidence. Evidence of what? Of them watching, of them stalking, of them preparing something. He flips through more pages, stops on one. This man, you drew him twice. He was at Wilson's when we went shopping. Then I saw him parked outside Mrs. Callahan's house yesterday. Garrett's jaw clenches. That's Marcus, Marcus Donovan. He was my lieutenant when I was in the Angels. Is he dangerous? Very. But Garrett's looking at the drawings with something like awe. But you gave us proof. You documented everything. You're a brilliant kid. You know that? Scarlett blinks. I just draw what I see. Most people see but don't really look. You look, you pay attention. That's a gift. He closes the sketchbook carefully. I need to show this to Officer Brennan, with your permission. Okay. And Scarlett, Garrett waits until she meets his eyes. No more running. We face this together. Deal. Deal. They shake on it. His hand engulfs hers, rough calluses and old scars against her smooth skin. But the grip is gentle, safe. Now get some sleep. It's late. But as Scarlett lies back down, pulling the blankets to her chin, she sees something through the window. Headlights, moving slow, the same blue sedan from her drawings. She doesn't say anything. Garrett has enough to worry about, but she files the detail away, notes the time, commits the license plate to memory. Tomorrow she'll add it to her sketchbook. Tonight she'll sleep, knowing she's not running. Not yet. Morning brings Officer Brennan to the door. Garrett called her at dawn. Now she sits at the kitchen table, Scarlett's sketchbook open before her. Her expression is unreadable as she examines each page. How old are you again? Officer Brennan asks. 10. Scarlett sits across from her, hands folded in her lap. And you drew all of these from memory? I looked at them, then I drew them later. I'm good at remembering faces. Officer Brennan shakes her head slowly. This is incredible work, Scarlett. The detail, the accuracy. You documented dates, times, locations. This is better than most witness statements I get from adults. Is it helpful? Very. Officer Brennan pulls out her phone, starts photographing pages. I can identify at least 3 of these people, known associates of the local Angels chapter. One has an outstanding warrant. She looks at Garrett. They're building to something. This level of surveillance means they're planning an action. How long do we have? Garrett's voice is tight. Hard to say. Days, maybe a week. Officer Brennan closes the sketchbook. I can increase patrols in this area, but Scarlett, we need to talk about your living situation. Scarlett's stomach drops. Here it comes, the part where they take her away. She stays with me. Garrett's tone leaves no room for argument. That's complicated, Garrett. Legally, you have no relationship to her. Her father hasn't been charged with anything yet, hasn't surrendered custody, and with your history, my history is public record. I've been clean for 5 years. I have a child, a home, character references from my support group. I know all that. Officer Brennan's voice softens. I'm not the enemy here. I'm trying to help. But the system moves slowly. And in the meantime, Scarlett needs to be somewhere safe and legal. I'm safe here. Scarlett's voice is small but steady. Officer Brennan looks at her, really looks. I believe you, but I also need to think about what happens if the Angels escalate. If they make a move, this house becomes a target. Then we'll deal with it, Garrett says. There's another option. Officer Brennan pulls out a folder. I've been in contact with social services. There's a foster family, the Hendersons. They're experienced, vetted. They live on the other side of the county, away from all this. The word foster hits Scarlett like cold water. She's heard stories. Other kids at school who went into foster care. Some were okay, most weren't, and none of them felt like home. I don't want to go to a foster family. I know, sweetie, but it might be temporary, just until we can sort out the legal issues. Get your father charged. Make sure Garrett can apply for custody properly. How long is temporary, Garrett asks. Could be a few weeks, could be longer. Officer Brennan spreads her hands. I can't promise anything. The system doesn't move fast. No, Scarlett stands up. Her chair scrapes against the floor. I'm not going. You can't make me. Scarlett, Garrett starts, I finally found someone who doesn't hurt me, someone who makes me feel safe. And now you want to take that away. Her voice cracks. Why does everyone always take away the good things? Officer Brennan stands too, because sometimes the good things put us in danger. And I need you alive more than I need you happy right now. The words are brutal in their honesty. Scarlett stares at her, this woman in a uniform who speaks in cold practicalities. Give us a week. Garrett's voice cuts through. 1 week. Let me prepare her. Let us say goodbye properly if it comes to that. Officer Brennan hesitates, looks at her notes, at Garrett, at Scarlett's tear-stained face. 1 week, she says finally, but I'm increasing patrols. And if anything happens, nothing will happen, Garrett says, but his eyes say he doesn't believe it. After Officer Brennan leaves, the house feels smaller, heavier. Garrett and Scarlett sit at the kitchen table, the week stretching before them like a countdown. We should make the most of it, Garrett says quietly, the time we have. Is that what this is, a countdown to losing you? No. He reaches across the table, takes her hand. It's a countdown to figuring out how to make this permanent, how to keep you safe and keep us together. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. But Scarlett sees the doubt in his eyes, hears it in his voice, and she knows. In 7 days, she might be taken away, and there's nothing either of them can do to stop it. The next day, Garrett drives Scarlett to Pine Valley Elementary, a small brick building with worn playground equipment and teachers who look exhausted. Scarlett clutches her new backpack filled with the school supplies Garrett bought. Principal Morrison, a thin woman with tired eyes, reviews the paperwork with pursed lips. She's missed considerable school this year. Her home situation was unstable. Garrett's pen pauses. That's changing. And you are her guardian, temporary guardian. The principal stamps the forms. She'll be in Mrs. Patterson's 5th grade class, room 14. Mrs. Patterson is young, maybe 25. She has kind eyes and paint stains on her cardigan. When Scarlett enters the classroom, 20 pairs of eyes turn to stare. Class, this is Scarlett. She's joining us today. Let's make her feel welcome. Mrs. Patterson gestures to an empty desk near the window. You can sit there. Scarlett navigates the minefield of backpacks and outstretched legs, slides into the desk. The wood is carved with initials and crude drawings, evidence of the kids who came before. A girl in the next desk leans over. You're the one staying with that biker guy. Word travels fast in small towns. Scarlett doesn't respond. My mom says he's dangerous, says he was in a gang. He's not dangerous. Scarlett's voice is quiet but firm. Then why does he have all those tattoos? Because he wanted them. It's not your business. The girl sits back, offended, but she doesn't push further. Class begins. Math first, then reading. Scarlett knows the material. She's actually ahead in most subjects. Reading was her escape when her father was drunk. Numbers made sense when nothing else did. At lunch, she sits alone, eats the sandwich Garrett packed. The other kids cluster in groups, friends who've known each other since kindergarten. No room for the new girl, the weird one staying with the scary biker. Mind if I sit? Scarlett looks up. A boy stands there, thin, glasses, holding a lunch tray like a shield. It's a free country. He sits. I'm Ben. I'm the other weird kid. We should probably stick together. Despite everything, Scarlett almost smiles. What makes you weird? I like bugs, and I'm really bad at sports, and I read during recess. He shrugs. Take your pick. I draw. Yeah, he brightens. What do you draw? People, places, things I see? That's cool. I can't draw at all. Stick figures are my limit. He takes a bite of his sandwich. So is it true about the biker? That he's dangerous? No. That's not what I was going to ask. Ben adjusts his glasses. I was going to ask if he's nice. My mom says sometimes the scariest looking people are the nicest, and the normal looking ones are actually mean. Scarlett thinks about that, about her father who looks normal, looks like every other tired working man in Pine Valley. But behind closed doors, he's a monster. Your mom's right, as she says. They eat in companionable silence. It's not friendship, not yet, but it's something. A small crack in the wall of isolation. The school day ends. Scarlett walks out the front door, scanning the pickup line for Garrett's truck. Other kids stream past her, climbing into cars with parents who smile and ask about their day. Then she sees him. Nolan O'Neill stands at the chain-link fence that borders the school playground. His clothes are rumpled, his face unshaven. But what strikes Scarlett most is that he's not angry. He's crying. Silent tears stream down his weathered face as he grips the fence with both hands. His knuckles are white. His whole body shakes. Scarlett freezes. Every instinct screams at her to run, to find a teacher, to hide. But something keeps her rooted to the spot. Something in his face she's never seen before. Vulnerability. Scarlett, his voice is hoarse, broken. Please, I need to talk to you. Teachers are moving toward him now. Mrs. Patterson puts a hand on Scarlett's shoulder. Go inside, honey. We'll handle this. But Scarlett doesn't move. Can't move. Because this isn't the man who threw her into the snow. This is someone else. Someone smaller. Someone broken. I loved your mother. Nolan's words tumble out desperate and raw. I loved her so much, and when she died, I broke. I know that's not an excuse. I know sorry doesn't fix anything. But I need you to know, you're not worthless. You never were. That was me. That was all me. His legs give out. He sinks to his knees and the snow is still gripping the fence. I'm so sorry, baby girl. I'm so sorry. I'm broken. I don't know how to fix what I am. Security guards are there now, pulling him away from the fence. Nolan doesn't resist, just keeps crying, keeps saying sorry, keeps looking at Scarlett with eyes that finally see her. Mrs. Patterson gently guides Scarlett inside. Are you okay? Scarlett nods, but her mind is reeling. All this time she thought her father was a monster, pure evil, someone who hurt her because she deserved it. But that man at the fence wasn't a monster. He was just broken, destroyed by grief he couldn't process, drowning in pain he couldn't escape. It doesn't forgive what he did, Doesn't erase the bruises or the terror or the night in the snow, but it makes him human. And somehow that's harder to bear than thinking he was just evil. Do you want to talk about it? Mrs. Patterson asks. No, Scarlett's voice is small. I just want to go home. When Garrett arrives late because of a work emergency, Mrs. Patterson fills him in. His face goes dark with rage. Did he hurt you? Did he touch you? No, he just... Scarlett struggles to find words. He was crying, saying he was sorry that he's broken. Garrett's hands clench the steering wheel as they drive home. Broken doesn't excuse abuse. I know. Scarlett looks out the window. But I think he meant it. That he's sorry. Sorry doesn't undo what he did to you. I know that too. She touches her cheek where the bruise has faded to yellow. But it makes him less scary, knowing he's not evil, just broken. Garrett is quiet for a long moment. You're a better person than me, kid. I'm not sure I could see past what he did. I'm not past it, not even close. Scarlett clutches her backpack. But maybe someday I can understand it, even if I never forgive it. That night, Scarlett adds a new page to her sketchbook. Not a surveillance drawing this time. A portrait. Nolan at the fence. Broken and crying and human. She doesn't show it to Garrett. This drawing is just for her. A reminder that people are complicated. That monsters can be broken people. That understanding doesn't mean forgiving. And that she survived anyway. Despite everything, she survived. The week passes in a blur of moments. School with Ben, drawing with Mrs. Patterson, dinners with Garrett. Each day precious because it might be one of their last together. On day 4, Garrett picks Scarlett up from school, but instead of heading home, he drives past the turn. Where are we going? Scarlett asks. You'll see. 20 minutes later, they pull into a parking lot. Scarlett's stomach drops when she sees Marcus Donovan waiting by his motorcycle. Stay in the truck, Garrett says. Lock the doors. Garrett, just trust me, please. He climbs out, approaches Marcus. The two men face each other in the empty parking lot. Scarlett watches through the windshield, heart pounding. The conversation is tense. Marcus gestures angrily. Garrett stands his ground. Then Marcus pulls something from his jacket. For a moment, Scarlett thinks it's a weapon, but it's an envelope. He hands it to Garrett, says something. Garrett's posture changes, softens. They talk for another few minutes. Then impossibly, they shake hands. Marcus gets on his bike and rides away. Garrett returns to the truck. What just happened? Scarlett asks. Garrett holds up the envelope. Marcus gave me 48 hours to return you to your father. That was his final warning. What fear spikes through Scarlett? What are you going to do? Nothing. Garrett starts the engine. Because Marcus isn't coming back. None of them are. I don't understand. He said, Garrett's voice is strange. He said watching me try to protect you reminded him why he got out, why he wanted to be better. He has a daughter somewhere. Lost custody years ago. Never got her back. And seeing me with you made him realize he was on the wrong side. So he's letting us go. More than that, he's getting out, turning evidence on the gang to the police. And he asked me, Garrett clears his throat. He asked me not to waste this chance, said some of us only get one shot at redemption. Scarlett processes this. So we're safe. From him, yes. From the angels. Garrett glances in the rearview mirror. That's harder to say. But Marcus was the one pushing this. Without him, they'll likely move on to other problems. We're not worth the trouble if there's no one driving the campaign. It's not a perfect resolution. Not guaranteed safety, but it's a reprieve. A chance. That night, with less than 48 hours remaining before Officer Brennan's deadline, Garrett sits Scarlett down by the fire. I have to tell you something, and you're not going to like it. Scarlett's stomach clenches. You're sending me away anyway. To the Hendersons, tomorrow. Garrett's voice is heavy. Even with Marcus backing off, Officer Brennan is right. Legally, I have no claim to you. Your father hasn't been charged yet. The system moves slow, and you need to be somewhere they can't question. But you said, I said we'd figure it out together. And we are. He takes her hand. This is temporary, Scarlett. Just until we can make it legal. Until we can charge your father properly. Until I can apply for custody through proper channels. How long? I don't know. Weeks. maybe months. He squeezes her hand. But I promise you, kid, I will come for you. The second it's legal, the second it's safe, I'm bringing you home. Scarlett wants to believe him, wants to trust that this isn't like all the other times adults promise things they couldn't deliver. But the fear is stronger than hope. What if you forget about me? Impossible. Garrett's voice is firm. You're stuck with Mame now, for good. They sit by the fire, neither sleeping, both trying to memorize this moment, this feeling, this fragile thing they built together. Tomorrow it will be tested. Tomorrow everything changes. But tonight they're still home. The next morning arrives too soon. Officer Brennan's car pulls into the driveway at 8 sharp. Scarlett sits on the couch, her bag packed. The purple sweater, the teddy bear, everything that matters reduced to one small bag again. Garrett kneels in front of her. This isn't goodbye forever. Yes, it is. Her voice is hollow. You'll move on. Forget about the weird kid who disrupted your life. And I'll become just another foster kid bouncing between homes. That's not true. Prove it. She looks at him with eyes too old for her face. Come get me. When it's safe, when everything's legal. Come to the Hendersons and bring me home. I will. I promise. You said that before. She picks up her bag, walks to Officer Brennan's cruiser without looking back. Garrett watches her go, watches the car disappear down the street, watches his house become empty again. And he knows he's made a choice that will haunt him, knows that some things once broken are hard to repair, knows that trust is fragile, but he also knows he'll keep his promise. No matter what it takes, no matter how long, he'll bring her home. The Henderson house is exactly as Officer Brennan described. Two-story colonial in a neighborhood with manicured lawns, basketball hoops, dogs behind fences, everything screaming normal, safe. Mrs. Henderson greets them at the door, early 40s, highlighted hair, practiced smile. You must be Scarlett. Come in, come in. The house is spotless, hardwood floors, tasteful furniture, family photos everywhere. 2 other foster kids peek from the living room, younger, maybe 6 and 8. This is Emma and Josh. They've been with us for a few months. Mrs. Henderson's hand rests on Scarlett's shoulder. The touch feels wrong, but Scarlett doesn't pull away. I'm sure you'll all get along great. Mr. Henderson emerges from a home office, tall, graying, wearing a polo shirt and khakis. Welcome, Scarlett. Mi casa es su casa. He laughs at his own joke. No one else does. Officer Brennan hands over paperwork, gives final instructions. Then she leaves. And Scarlett is alone with these strangers. Let me show you to your room, Mrs. Henderson leads her upstairs. The room is pink, aggressively pink. Pink walls, pink bedspread, pink curtains. We can redecorate if you don't like it, Mrs. Henderson says. Make it more you. But it will never be her, because this isn't her home. This is temporary, a placeholder, a cage with nice furniture. It's fine. Great, dinner's at 6. We eat as a family, one of our rules. The smile doesn't reach her eyes. Other rules: homework before TV, chores every Saturday, respectful language at all times. Questions: can I call Garrett? The smile tightens. We prefer foster children, focus on their new environment for the first week. Helps with adjustment. After that, we can discuss phone privileges. Phone privileges. Like talking to the one person who makes her feel safe is a reward she has to earn. When the door closes, Scarlett sits on the pink bed, looks around the pink room, at the window overlooking the perfect neighborhood, at the desk with new notebooks and pencils, at the bookshelf with age-appropriate books she's already read. Everything is perfect. Everything is wrong. And so begins the longest year of Scarlett O'Neal's life. The first week at the Hendersons stretches into 2, then a month, then 3. The months blur together in a haze of rules and criticism, and slowly disappearing into someone she doesn't recognize. January becomes February. February becomes March. Spring arrives but brings no warmth. March becomes April. April becomes May. Summer starts. Fall follows. Then winter returns. Nearly a year. 11 months to be exact. 11 months of rules and fake smiles and constant criticism disguised as guidance. Garrett calls like he promised. But Mrs. Henderson always supervises, always listens. Scarlett can't tell him the truth, can't explain that this perfect house has cracks in its foundation. So she says she's fine, says school is good, says the Hendersons are nice. All lies that taste like blood. At school, Scarlett draws during every free moment. Dark pictures now, shadows and sharp angles. Mrs. Patterson notices but doesn't comment, just quietly provides better paper. Darker pencils. Ben notices too. Your drawings changed. People change. Is everything okay at your new place? It's fine. The lie comes easier each time, but it's not fine. Mr. Henderson has rules. So many rules. Breaking them means consequences. Missing dinner, extra chores, lectures about gratitude and how much worse things could be. Mrs. Henderson is worse in her way. Her criticisms are subtle, constant, about Scarlett's posture, her manners, her tendency to be too quiet or too loud or too anything that isn't exactly what she wants. You need to smile more, Scarlett. People don't like girls who look angry. Your hair is a mess. Let me fix it. That drawing is very dark. Maybe draw something happy, something pretty. Emma and Josh learned to stay out of Scarlett's way. They've been here longer. Know how to be invisible, how to be exactly what the Hendersons want. Scarlett tries, but she can't fold herself into something acceptable. Can't pretend this is okay. At night she draws, dark pictures that show the truth. Mr. Henderson's cold eyes when no one's watching. Mrs. Henderson's fake smile that never reaches her eyes. The feeling of being trapped in a perfect prison. Her sketchbook fills with evidence no one will see. Because who believes the foster kid who takes her side against the nice couple who opened their home? No one, that's who. Nearly a year. 11 months of this. And tonight is different. Tonight is the anniversary. 1 year since Garrett found her under that oak tree. 1 year since someone saw her worth. Scarlett sits at the desk in the pink room drawing. It's Mr. Henderson again. But this version shows what lives beneath the polo shirts. The way his voice drops to ice when social workers leave. The way his eyes go flat when she doesn't perform gratitude on command. A knock at the door. She closes the sketchbook quickly. Mrs. Henderson enters. Still drawing. You've been at it for hours. I'm almost done. We'll finish up. Early bedtime tonight. Church in the morning. She pauses. And Scarlett? That man called again. The biker. Garrett. Her heart lurches. Can I talk to him? He can call back during approved hours, 9 to 5 on weekdays. You know the rules. Nearly a year of this. Nearly a year of rules and boundaries and being told when she can talk to the one person who cared. Yes, ma'am. After Mrs. Henderson leaves, Scarlett opens her sketchbook to a blank page. Writes in small, careful letters. 1 year ago today, someone saved my life. I thought I found home, but they sent me here instead. To people who smile with their mouths but not their eyes. Where I have to earn basic kindness. Where being myself is wrong. I'm not adjusting. I'm surviving. There's a difference. If anyone ever reads this, I tried to tell them. But no one listens to foster kids. I miss you, Garrett. I hope you didn't forget about me. She hides the book. Lies down with her teddy bear. Its torn ear is soft and worn now. The only thing from her old life that still feels real. And doesn't sleep. Can't sleep. Because tomorrow is just another day of pretending. Another day of being the perfect foster child. Another day slowly disappearing. But somewhere in Pine Valley, Garrett Sullivan sits in his empty house, stares at the calendar, sees the date, 1 year. He's waited a full year, played by their rules, been patient, but patience has limits. And tonight his phone rings. Garrett, it's Kate Brennan. He sits up, heart hammering. What's wrong? I need you to come to the Henderson residence. Now, there's been an incident. The phone rings at 3 in the morning. Garrett jerks awake, heart hammering. Late night calls never bring good news. Sullivan, his voice is rough with sleep. Garrett, it's Kate Brennan. He sits up. What's wrong? I need you to come to the Henderson residence. Now, there's been an incident. The world tilts. Is Scarlett hurt? She's physically safe, but just get here. How fast can you get here? 40 minutes. He's already moving, pulling on jeans, grabbing his keys. What happened? Just get here. I'll explain when you arrive. The drive is a blur. Garrett pushes his truck faster than safe on dark roads. His mind conjures worst-case scenarios. A year. He's waited a full year, called every day, followed every rule. And now this. He never should have sent her there. Never should have listened. Should have trusted his gut. The Henderson house blazes with lights when he arrives. 2 police cruisers in the driveway. Neighbors on porches despite the hour. Officer Brennan meets him at the door. She's okay, she says immediately. Physically, she's okay. What does that mean? Come inside, you need to see something. The living room is chaos. Mr. Henderson sits on the couch, head in hands. Mrs. Henderson paces her perfect hair, disheveled. Emma and Josh huddle on the stairs, eyes wide. And Scarlett. Scarlett sits at the dining table with another officer. Her face is pale but composed. Her hands rest on a familiar sketchbook. She looks up when Garrett enters. Their eyes meet. A year of distance shatters in an instant. Garrett. His name comes out broken. Relief and pain, and 11 months of holding everything inside. He crosses to her in 3 strides, drops to his knees. I'm here. Whatever happened, I'm here. She's been documenting abuse. Officer Brennan's voice cuts through. Show him Scarlett. With trembling hands, Scarlett opens the sketchbook. Page after page of drawings. Mr. Henderson's cold eyes. Mrs. Henderson's fake smiles. Emma flinching. Josh's careful silence. And notes. Dates. Times. Incidents described in heartbreaking detail. Garrett's vision goes red. They hurt you. Not like you're thinking. Scarlett's voice is small. No hitting, no bruises, just rules. So many rules, and consequences if you break them. Missing meals, extra chores, lectures about gratitude. She touches a page and comments about how I draw too dark, how I'm too quiet, how foster kids should smile more. Emotional abuse. Officer Brennan stands behind them. Systematic. For 11 months, she documented all of it. That's not true. Mrs. Henderson's voice rises. We have structure. That's not abuse, that's parenting. You told her she should be grateful you took her in. Officer Brennan's tone is ice. You withheld food as punishment. You invaded her privacy with daily room searches. You isolated her from her support system. We were helping her adjust. You were controlling her. Garrett stands, his fists clench. You took a traumatized kid and made her feel worthless all over again. Mr. Sullivan, stay calm. Officer Brennan puts a hand on his arm. We're handling this. How are you handling this? His voice rises. You put her here. You said she'd be safe. And instead she spent 11 months being emotionally tortured. The words hang in the air. Mrs. Henderson's face goes red. Mr. Henderson finally looks up. What triggered tonight's call? Garrett asks, voice shaking. Why now, Bem? Officer Brennan gestures to Emma. The 6-year-old speaks in a tiny voice. Mr. Henderson got really mad tonight at Scarlett. She didn't finish her chores fast enough because she was drawing. He didn't hit her, but he yelled really loud, called her ungrateful, and his face got scary. I got scared and called my social worker like they told me to if something felt wrong. Emma's social worker did an emergency visit, Officer Brennan continues. Found Scarlett's sketchbooks hidden under her mattress. Called me, and here we are. Thank you, Emma, Garrett says quietly. You did the right thing. You saved her. The little girl nods, tears streaming down her face. Officer Brennan addresses the room. We're revoking your foster license. Effective immediately. Emma and Josh will be placed with another family starting tomorrow. And Scarlett? She looks at the girl. Scarlett needs to come with me. No, the word explodes from Garrett. She's not going to another foster home. She's not going through this again. Garrett, I'll apply for emergency custody right now, tonight, whatever paperwork you need. He looks at Scarlett, sees the hope fighting with fear. She stays with me, where she should have been all along. Officer Brennan sighs, runs a hand through her hair, looks at Scarlett, at the sketchbook full of evidence, at the girl who's been failed by every system. There's an emergency hearing Monday morning. Judge Morrison, I can advocate for temporary placement with you pending the hearing. She meets Garrett's eyes. But understand, this will be scrutinized. Your past, your connections, everything. I don't care. Scrutinize me. Just don't make her go back into the system. Officer Brennan nods slowly. Pack your things, Scarlett. You're going home. The word home breaks something in Scarlett. She stands on shaky legs, moves toward the stairs. Garrett follows. In the pink room, Scarlett's belongings fit in one bag. The purple sweater, worn but clean. The teddy bear with its torn ear. Her sketchbooks. Everything that matters. She pauses at the door, looks back at the room that's been her prison. I won't miss this. You never have to see it again, Garrett promises. The drive back to his house is silent. Scarlett sits in the passenger seat bag on her lap, holding the teddy bear like a lifeline. As they turn onto his street, she finally speaks. Why now? Why come get me now? Garrett's hands tighten on the steering wheel. Because I should never have sent you away. Because I've been calling every day and they kept making excuses. Because tonight's the anniversary and I realized I'd wasted a year. A whole year you should have been home. He pulls into his driveway, kills the engine. Because you're my home too, kid. And a home without you in it is just a house. Tears stream down Scarlett's face. I thought you forgot about me. Never, not for 1 second. He unbuckles, turns to face her. I'm sorry for sending you there, for not fighting harder, for letting you think you didn't matter. Do I matter to you? More than anything. They sit in the truck as snow begins to fall. Light flakes catching in the streetlight's glow. A year ago, snow meant death and cold. Tonight it feels like coming home. Can we go inside? Scarlett asks. I'm tired. Yeah, kid, let's go home. The house is exactly as she remembers. Worn couch, space heater, Catherine's photo, the fireplace. Everything familiar and safe and right. Scarlett sets her bag down, looks around like she's cataloging proof this is real. Your room's still set up, Garrett says. I kept hoping you'd come back. She doesn't go to the room. Instead, she walks to the couch, sits. Garrett sits beside her. The Hendersons will contest this, Scarlett says quietly. They'll say I'm lying. You have evidence. Evidence they'll say I drew because I'm difficult. She looks at him. That's what everyone says about foster kids. Then we'll prove them wrong. Garrett's voice is firm. Monday's hearing, we show your drawings, explain what happened, and we fight. What if we lose? We won't. But the fear in Scarlett's eyes says she doesn't believe him. I need you to trust me, Garrett says. One more time. Can you do that? Scarlett wants to. After a year of disappointment, after 11 months of waiting for promises to break, she wants to believe this is different. I'll try, she whispers. That's all I'm asking. Sunday passes in careful quiet. Garrett makes pancakes. Scarlett draws. They don't talk about the hearing, just exist in this fragile bubble. Ben calls. You're back. My mom heard. Are you okay? I'm okay. Good. See you at the school tomorrow. The casual assumption that life will continue, almost painful in its optimism. Yeah, see you tomorrow. That night, Scarlett lies in her old bed. Not pink, just plain walls and simple furniture and a window showing stars. She pulls out her sketchbook, draws the Henderson house, the pink room, Mr. Henderson's cold eyes, then flips to a new page, draws this house, this room, Garrett reading, the space heater's glow. Tomorrow a judge decides which life she keeps. Monday morning arrives cold and gray. Garrett wears his cleanest shirt, looks uncomfortable. You look nice, Scarlett says. I look like I'm going to a funeral. That's not helping. He cracks a small smile. Sorry, nervous. They drive to the courthouse. Officer Brennan meets them. Judge Morrison is fair. Tell the truth. Show your drawings. Inside, the courtroom is smaller than Scarlett expected. The Hendersons sit with their lawyer, a woman in a severe suit. Garrett and Scarlett sit opposite. Officer Brennan beside them. No lawyer, just truth and hope. Judge Morrison enters, steel gray hair, sharp eyes. Let's begin. Emergency custody hearing regarding Scarlett O'Neill. The Henderson lawyer stands. Your Honor, my clients are exemplary foster parents. This is clearly a troubled child making false accusations. We'll determine that, Miss Vance. Judge Morrison looks at Scarlett. Young lady, you have made serious allegations. I need to hear from you. Can you do that? Scarlett stands. Her legs shake. Yes, Your Honor. Tell me what happened. The words stick. Years of being told to be quiet, to not cause trouble, but she thinks about Garrett, about home, about the life she could have. They weren't mean like my father. No hitting. But there were so many rules, consequences. Her voice gains strength. I missed dinner for drawing pictures they didn't like. Extra chores for being too quiet. They searched my room daily, restricted my calls, told me it was for my own good. But it felt like I was being watched, controlled, like I had to earn the right to exist. Children need structure, Mrs. Henderson starts. Mrs. Henderson, you'll have your turn. Judge Morrison's voice is steel. Continue, Scarlett. They didn't want me to adjust. They wanted me to become someone else, someone quieter, more grateful, someone who didn't cause problems. She reaches into her bag, pulls out her sketchbook. I drew everything, every day, because I needed to remember it was real, that I wasn't making it up. She hands a sketchbook to the bailiff. Judge Morrison examines page after page. Her jaw tightens. These are detailed, Judge Morrison says. Dates, teams, specific incidents. I learned to pay attention, to notice things. It's how I survived my dad. Scarlett's voice drops. The Hendersons were different, but surviving them felt the same. Judge Morrison looks at the Hendersons. Response. Their lawyer stands. Children exaggerate, especially traumatized children. My clients provided structure in a safe environment. I have issues. Scarlett's voice cuts through. Lots of issues, because my father beat me, because everyone keeps telling me I should be grateful for whatever I get. She looks at Judge Morrison. But having an issues doesn't mean I'm lying. And being damaged doesn't mean I don't deserve better. The judge's expression softens. Noted, Mr. Sullivan, you wish to seek custody. Garrett stands. Yes, Your Honor. You have a criminal record, gang affiliation, history of violence. I do, all true. Garrett's voice is steady. I was a hell's angel for 20 years. Did things I'm ashamed of, but I left that life 5 years ago. Been clean since. I work. I go to support group meetings. I'm not that person anymore. People don't change easily, Ms. Vance interjects. People change when they have a reason to, Garrett counters. Scarlett is my reason. He looks at her. I know I'm not perfect, but I see her, really see her, not as a project or charity case, as a person, a brilliant, talented, brave person who deserves to be safe and loved and wanted. Silence. Judge Morrison writes notes. Mrs. Brennan, Officer Brennan stands. Your Honor, I made the initial placement decision. I was wrong. I thought structure was what Scarlett needed, but what she needed was someone who understands trauma. Garrett Sullivan isn't perfect, but he's the right choice for her. Your Honor, Ms. Vance starts. The courtroom doors open. A man in a leather vest walks in. Marcus Donovan. Sorry I'm late, Marcus says. Traffic. Judge Morrison's eyebrows rise. And you are Marcus Donovan. I used to ride with Garrett. He looks uncomfortable. I heard about the hearing, thought I should come. For what purpose? Marcus pulls out a folder. I have information about Nolan O'Neill, Scarlett's father, proof he's been trafficking drugs, using his house as a depot. He hands it to the bailiff. Garrett inspired me to get out, to turn my life around. This is my first step, turning in the people who are actually dangerous. Judge Morrison reviews the documents. Her expression hardens. These are serious. They're facts. I was there. I'm willing to testify. Marcus looks at Garrett. You showed me there's another way. Now I'm trying to find it too. The judge writes more notes, looks at Scarlett, at Garrett, at the evidence. Brief recess. 15 minutes feel like hours. Scarlett holds Garrett's hand. Marcus sits behind them. Whatever happens, Garrett says quietly, you fought. You used your voice. It matters if I get to stay. It matters regardless, Judge Morrison returns. This court recognizes that traditional placements don't always serve traumatized children. Structure isn't a substitute for genuine care. She looks at the Hendersons. Your license is revoked. Emma and Josh will be placed elsewhere. You'll be investigated. Mrs. Henderson gasps. Mr. Henderson's face goes red. As for Scarlett O'Neill, this court finds that Garrett Sullivan, despite his past, has demonstrated genuine commitment. Therefore, I'm granting temporary custody effective immediately. Review hearing in 6 months. Relief crashes over Scarlett. She's staying. However, Judge Morrison's voice sharpens. This is contingent on continued good behavior, regular home visits, school attendance, and counseling. Any violations will result in immediate removal. Clear. Yes, Your Honor. Garrett's voice is rough. Good. Adjourned. The gavel falls. Everything changing. Outside, Scarlett breathes winter air that tastes like freedom. Marcus lingers. Thank you, Garrett says. You saved that kid. Figured I could help save you both. Marcus shrugs. Besides, watching you build something real made me think maybe I could too. You can. It's hard, but you can. Marcus looks at Scarlett. You take care of him, kid. He's one of the good ones. I know. Marcus nods, rides away, seeking his own redemption. What now? Scarlett asks. Now we go home. You go back to school. We figure out normal. Garrett unlocks his truck, and we deal with one more thing. What thing? Your father. 2 weeks later, Scarlett sits in another courtroom. Bigger, more official. Nolan O'Neill sits at the defense table, thinner, shaking. When he sees her, something crosses his face, regret, shame. The DA calls her to the stand. She swears to tell the truth. Sits, looks out. Garrett in the front row. Officer Brennan, Marcus, Mrs. Callahan, Ben and his mother, Mrs. Patterson. A community who believes her. Scarlett, the DA begins gently. Can you tell us about Christmas Eve last year? She can. She does. The beating, the snow, the oak tree, Garrett finding her, every detail. Nolan's lawyer tries to discredit her, suggests she's lying, but Scarlett doesn't break. Just keeps telling her truth. When she's done, she walks back to Garrett. He puts his arm around her. Solid, safe, home. The trial lasts 3 days. The verdict takes 20 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Nolan is sentenced to 5 years, loses all parental rights. When they lead him away, he looks at Scarlett one last time. I'm sorry, he mouths. Scarlett nods, accepts the apology, doesn't forgive. Not yet, maybe not ever. But she's free. Outside, spring sun warms her face. Winter over, new growth. Ice cream, Garrett suggests. Can Ben come? Sure, kid. Call him. 6 months pass in a blur of normal. School, homework, drawing, Ben's bug facts, Sunday dinners with Mrs. Callahan. Support group where Marcus sits in back 6 months sober. Scarlett's art improves. Mrs. Patterson enters her pieces in the county show. All win ribbons. The newspaper does a story. Girl who survived now thrives through art. The article brings letters, dozens, from other foster kids, other survivors. Scarlett reads every letter, answers every one, uses her voice to help others find theirs. In July, the community center hosts a summer art show. Scarlett's work fills a wall. The drawings have changed, still detailed, but lighter, filled with hope. Ben studying beetles, Mrs. Callahan on her porch, Officer Brennan at her desk, Marcus on his motorcycle, Garrett in his shop, found family, and one special piece, the oak tree. But instead of a dying girl, there's growth. New leaves, flowers, life. People want to buy pieces, but Scarlett keeps the oak tree. Some things aren't for sale. That evening, Garrett and Scarlett drive past the actual tree. Pull over. Get out. 1 year ago, I found you here, Garrett says. Thought I was just saving a kid. Didn't know you'd save me right back. I didn't save you. You did. You gave me purpose. He touches the tree's bark. This is where my life started making sense. Scarlett looks at the tree, at the spot where she almost died. I used to be invisible here. And now I'm seen, really seen. She touches the tree too. And I'm going to make sure other kids know they're not invisible either. The next week, the final custody hearing. Scarlett is nervous but not afraid. Judge Morrison reviews her file. School reports, counselor's assessment, home visits, community letters. Miss O'Neill has shown remarkable progress. Mr. Sullivan has provided a stable environment. Therefore, this court terminates temporary custody and grants full legal guardianship. The gavel falls. Final. Outside, Garrett pulls out a folder. I have something. Inside are adoption papers, filled out, waiting for signatures. You don't have to just be my guardian, Garrett says quietly. You can be my daughter if you want, no pressure. Scarlett stares at the papers, at the line for her signature, at the word daughter. You want to adopt me. I want to make this permanent, legal, real. Garrett kneels. You're already my family. This just makes it official. She thinks about family, about blood ties that meant pain, about chosen ties that mean everything. Yes, easy. Yes, I want that. They sign right there. Officer Brennan and Mrs. Callahan witness. Marcus takes a photo. That night, Garrett hangs a new picture, right next to Catherine's photo. It's Scarlett's drawing, the two of them, father and daughter. Home. Underneath, Scarlett adds a plaque, invisible no more. She stands back, looks at the wall, at Catherine, at her own art. She'd be proud of you, Scarlett says. Catherine, she'd be proud of you too. Garrett puts his arm around her. You saved yourself, kid. I just gave you a safe place to land. We saved each other. Yeah, we did. They stand in the living room. Summer evening light filters through windows. Worn couch, old photographs, evidence of life lived. Scarlett opens her sketchbook, starts a new drawing. The house, the living room, Garrett reading, home. But this time she adds herself, sitting on the floor, drawing part of the scene, visible, present. When she's done, she shows Garrett. He studies it. That's perfect. Can I hang it? It's your house too now. Hang whatever you want. So she does, places her drawing on the wall, part of their life. Evidence that she exists, that she matters, that she's home. Outside, the sun sets. Stars emerge. The oak tree stands silent and strong, alive despite everything. Just like Scarlett, just like Garrett, just like everyone who survives and chooses to bloom anyway. In the small house, father and daughter sit together. No words needed, just presence, peace, the quiet understanding that they found each other when they both needed finding most. Tomorrow will bring new days, new challenges, new chances to prove broken people can build beautiful things, that damaged souls can create homes, that invisible girls can use their voices to change the world. But tonight it's enough to just be, to exist in this moment, in this space, in this family they built from nothing but hope and determination and love. Scarlett closes her sketchbook, sets it aside, leans against Garrett's shoulder, feels his heartbeat, steady, strong, alive. Thank you, she whispers, for stopping, for seeing me, for staying. Thank you for letting me, for trusting me, for teaching me what family really means. They sit as darkness habitual, as the house settles, as Pine Valley sleeps. Two survivors making peace with their pasts, two fighters building their future, two souls finding home in each other, and on the wall the photographs watch. Catherine smiling, Scarlett and Garrett together, evidence of love that transcends blood, of family that's chosen, of redemption earned. The oak tree drawing hangs among them, a reminder of where they started, a promise of where they're going, a testament to survival and growth, and the stubborn refusal to let darkness win. Invisible no more, seen and valued and loved. Home at last, forever.